切り離さないと全身塵になっちまう。
Welcome to Top 10 Sensei, and today we are gonna be talking about top 10 anime villains. Number 10, Tomura Shigaraki. This show has a lot of amazing villains, from Stain to Overhaul and All for One, you name it. And when you put out people like Dabi and Toga into the mix, it seems like the villains are liked just as much as the heroes. But my pick is Shigaraki for two reasons. Firstly, longevity. I mean, like it or not, we are going to be seeing a lot of this dude and will therefore see him progress as a character, especially comparing to Deku. Secondly, he's just doing some naughty stuff in the manga, and it's honestly amazing. Number 9, Kenny Ackerman. As far as big time villains, the Beast Titan is probably more suited for this spot. But I just found Kenny too interesting to leave out, and this is because Kenny brings up two new and interesting aspects to the show. Firstly, people attacking and hunting down other people, and second, Levi past. Let's face it, we all deal with Levi, so to finally see a figure from his past and have them fight in glorious, fast-paced fashion was just a treat for the viewers.
お前だけが特別なわけではない。
Number 8, Anti-Spirals. Throughout its run, Gurren Lagann kept introducing new villains, making sure that each one was more interesting and menacing than from the last. So, in the beginning, we had a grumpy man keeping the kids in check, then a beast boy hunter, and finally, an entire species known as the Anti-Spirals. Look at that. Not only did they give off extreme Alien X vibes when they first appeared, but they also led to the most large-scale battle the show had ever attempted. Needless to say, it was amazing. Number 7, Escalade. Anime Vinland Saga. I had to pronounce the name because it's one of my favorite animes. The thing that makes Escalade one of the best villains is that I don't even know whether I can call him a villain. Initially, it was a clear cut. He plays dirty and he murders bad person, really. The middle then gets a bit murky as Thorfinn, our main character, really wants to kill him, but they also become like a family, be it a very violent one. And then by the end, everything goes out the window. We are also shown that Escalade is extremely brave and is protecting something that he holds dear, which is good. Is he on the wrong list? Or I don't know, man.
バカっていうのはさ、こういう手に引っかかるヒューズみたいなやつのことを言う。
Number 6, Envy. Just like Tucker, Envy is also definitely a bit cool for a cocoa pulse, but somehow in a more terrifying way. As the name might suggest, Envy really doesn't like the fact that people have something they don't love, so they will go to the extreme lengths to stomp out any trace of human love and happiness. The fact that they can shapeshift only further drives this point home, as they can make your loved one be the last thing you see, brandishing a gun or a blooded knife. Number 5, Zagred. Okay, if you prefer long-lasting plot relevance, then Patoli is probably the pick for you. We rarely get to know his backstory, his motivations, and his character, but I'm a sucker for some demon action, so when Zagred came onto the scene, I was glued to Messi. Not only does he look like pure nightmare fuel, but he also has some of the most busted abilities like this show has ever seen so far. And even though he pulled a Black Zetsu on us, I forgive him based on his badass levels alone. Number 4. Don Quixote Doflamingo. Doflamingo has always been an interesting character because he's been regarded as one of the best, even though after other villains from One Piece possesses much more power than narrative influence. Maybe it's because of his design, his extreme arrogance, or the fact that he was hyped up as a looming threat to the crew for so long. Whatever the case may be, what we were left with is an incredible powerful warlord with the puffiest and clothing and a depressing backstory that contrasts nicely to his purple themed and white green.
その傷でよくやるもんだ。
Number 3. Shogo Makishima. As an entity, the Sabo system arguably is more threatening, but Makishima is by far the more interesting villain. I've stated before that I love a good evil brainiac trope, and Makishima delivers so many levels. Not only does he constantly remains a few steps in front of the police, but his twisted mind and unpredictably make him so intriguing. His first encounter with Akane is, in my opinion, one of the most chilling scenes in anime, and such as his spot on his list is well deserved. Number 2. Sosuke Aizen. There are a few reasons why Aizen is such a good villain. 1. He pulled the biggest niggy on all of us with the whole fake that thing. 2. He's overpowered as hell and constantly flexed on anyone who dared to oppose him, which is always fun to see. And lastly, he's like a super genius who orchestrated the entire plotline of the show. Mind you, he didn't pull up like Zetsu, so it was actually a good approach to his character. We barely even know what this man was like before he became a demigod. He just kind of exists and spreads his smugness across the world. Number 1. Isabella. Isabella is a prime example of how to make a good antagonist. She doesn't breathe fire or kills baby kittens for fun. She is just staying alive by sacrificing those that are weaker, and the way she was written is brilliant. Her sharp intellect, mental warfare, cunning eyes, and everything. You literally felt like she was always behind the corner watching, listening, plotting something. After we get her backstory, she doesn't cease to be terrifying. We now understand her on a better fundamental level, which is a feat that isn't easy to replicate with your average villain.